Kia's newest electric vehicle, 2022 Kia EV6 GT line, steel matte gray. This is the company's first fully electric crossover with range up to 310 miles. Rivals like Volkswagen ID4, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Tesla Model Y, Audi Q4. The list goes on with fully electric vehicles. But what you need to look at when you're buying them is your range, quick charging times, room in the interior, towing capacity. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The all-new Kia EV6 has the boomerang look for your adaptive LED headlamps, daytime runnings, and it brushes into your side panels. The A-pillars are pushed back with the gloss black to the grille with that pattern, gloss black everywhere because of the GT line, even on the lower, giving that aggressive look. Underneath your frunk, you still have some storage capacity. When you open up the EV, you have maybe enough to put a book or two. It's not going to be the best underneath there. However, it's going to be more than the Volkswagen ID4. It's going to be less than the Tesla. 19-inch would be standard because we have the all-wheel drive. These are 20-inch, 5-spoke, multicolored with the gloss black Kia badging. Behind these upgraded wheels, you got 12.8 inches. They're ventilated. The rear's at 12 inches. It's solid. A McPherson strut suspension, multi-link, independent rear suspension. This is the first vehicle to utilize the EGMP architecture, which is developed exclusively for Kia's electric vehicles. A length at 184.8 inches with the wheelbase at 114.2 inches. It rides low, lower center of gravity, two-tone look. Comparing the BMW i4, I like that one just a touch better only because it's off of the 4 Series. This is a futuristic look. If you're into something like that, then, go to Mars because that's where this is taking you. The boomerang look comes into the back, gloss black because of the GT line elements that are implemented. Going inside to your power lift gate with 24.4 cubic feet of storage. You will have a 12-volt in the back. Open this up and you got some storage. You can also do this as a lower tier if you like to give you more optimal storage capacity. Split fold the rear bench at a 40-60 split is going to increase the cargo to 50.2 cubic feet, which is going to be the least in class, towing around 2,300 pounds, which also will be the least in class. Because this is an all-wheel drive, we still receive the 77.4 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack. We'll add the front motor, which gives us a combined of 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a single-speed automatic transmission achieving 116 to 94 mpges. That's good for a 0 to 60 around 4.6 seconds with a quarter mile at 13.3 seconds, stopping distance from 70 to 0 under 170 feet. What does this come down to? Well, we have a range of 294 miles with this model here. It's going to be the worst in stopping distance. Speeds of 0 to 60, it's going to be faster than the base Mustang Mach-E, your Volkswagen ID4. It's obviously going to be slower than all of the other rivals. Charging times, 217 miles in 17 minutes with a 400 to 800 DC charge. With a 350 volt fast charge, 70 miles, 5 minutes. That is super quick for what it is. Charging at home with a level 2 or a 240 is about 8.7 hours. So you have the speeds of faster than pretty much any car on the road because you're under 5 seconds. You got quick charging time so you don't have to sit there for 10 hours. I mean, is the future right here? Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Kia EV6 GT line all-wheel drive. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Kia EV6 GT line all-wheel drive. 36.8 inches of headroom, 42.4 inches of legroom, bucket front seats, vegan leather, 10-way power adjustments for both passenger and driver, memory for the driver, heated ventilated seats, and you get this white interior that brushes everything from the door panel to the dash. The dashboard is going to be more sport derived with the GT line. You get the dual screen with the single glass curve that will have your digital gauge cluster. When you change the modes, it will also change the layout on your gauge cluster. So I do like that it gives you that playfulness. Kia's 2-spoke steering wheel, multi-function, keeping the gloss black, and you got the satin silver. We have the paddle shifters that helps for your regenerative braking and your infotainment screen. We got the pinch, we got the swipe. Click the little button on the side, and now you have a second screen for the passenger, or you can use this for yourself because it is very driver focused. Push that off so it's a widescreen. Click into your home buttons. You can see all the apps: Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Kia Connect. Your dual climate control settings you can do through the infotainment screen, or you can just do it through your touchpads here. Switch it to reverse. We have full trajectory, 360-degree reverse camera. The gauge cluster will also show you that, and it will show you if there's anything that's in your way. In this case, it's the sun. When you click onto here, this is your 3D view, which I like this one a lot because look how quick and precise it is. Click back into here. You can also zoom in and zoom out a couple times over here. 2 USB ports right there, a 12-volt and another quick USB port. Underneath, you're gonna have a deep storage pocket, and you have a little area here that you can hang some stuff. Ventilated and heated seat switches to turn on that EV, and your rotary knob to put it into reverse or drive, and park to push. You have your auto hold, cup holders, I would say about a 20 ounce, a little storage cubby right here, wireless charging pad. You got the nice pattern design here, going to be more firm. Open up its side, it's pretty deep. I've left a couple things so you can see how deep it is, just not necessarily so wide. The gloss black does surround it, and I like the two-tone that it gives. And you get the ambient lighting that's going to go all down through here with your seamless air vents. You got that bluish pattern with the gloss black on this side to open up to charge and for your tailgate. Heads-up display, the dash brushes into the door panel, starting with your Meridian sound system. Everyday materials on the top, memory for the driver, it's black, surrounds everything, soft where you rest your elbows, one touch up and down for your windows, a smaller storage pocket, and there's that Meridian sound system on the bottom. For the back seats, I have more headroom than I do in the front. 38 inches. Leg space, 39 inches. So you're gonna fit a lot more comfortable in the sense for a taller person back here. Sit up higher than the front, just the way you sit. Elbows, very sport derived, 16.9 ounce, I would say maybe 20 ounce, and it's a dual storage. So either cup holders or a phone or some gum, mints. We have storage behind both of the seats. USB ports, and you have like a little bit of a hanger right here. So if you need to hang anything up, air vents on the side pillars. The door panel gets your everyday materials with the gloss black, and I like the speaker grille that covers the Meridian sound system. Heated rear seats. It's going to be in the door panel. You get the silver and a small storage pocket that maybe a 20 ounce will fit. You can also recline these, so it'll be a lot more comfortable, especially for a long journey. It does feel very futuristic inside here. So that's one thing that, because it's electric, I let it slide. However, I would like to see a car that's not so futuristic sometimes. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is still no issue, nor is leg space, sharing feet, butt, shoulder space, because it's not that wide of a bench. And the way you sit back here, the door panels actually push in a little bit more. Can you fit 3 adults 6'3"? Yes. I would recommend reclining the seat. Taking the 2022 Kia EV6 GT line E all-wheel drive out for our test run with 320 horsepower. It's pretty good, almost the best in class in the sense of where you're at price point. It's obviously going to have more power than the VW ID4. It's going to have more power than the Mustang Mach-E on the base trim. So depending on the tier that you go for your electric vehicle, Obviously, that would escalate the price, and the same thing here. I do like, though, this screen is awesome, and they're implementing it in pretty much all of their vehicles, which is the same thing BMW, Mercedes-Benz. Every vehicle company is doing it. One thing I dislike, though, is this car is around 60 grand. So to get this in a $30,000 car, meaning this screen, it kind of takes it a little bit away. We're gonna see the performance now. Got it in sport mode, here we go. In sport mode, it just takes off. Obviously, you got regenerative braking. We're going to change the mode to Eco. It takes a little bit more, like you really have to mash the pedal. Put it into normal, and it just goes by the way you drive, obviously. So obviously, when you're in sport mode, you're going to lose range. That is something to take in consideration. If you're in a hot climate environment, you're using anything power, that's all from the battery, so obviously you're gonna lose range. The good thing is, you get 70-mile range in 5 minutes with a 350-volt supercharge. That is crazy, because that's pretty much how quick it takes to fill up your gas tank. Obviously, that's completely full. But if you need something on a pinch, because most people don't commute 70 miles one way, maybe both ways you're doing about 50, 60 miles, so you can do it the same way of filling up your tank and then charge it overnight. The big thing about this is 446 pound-feet of torque, so it really just throws you back. Wind noise does escalate heavily inside, and because we have that spaceship design outside, I would really like this to be so much quieter, because when you get into the Tesla Model Y, it is pretty quiet. It's so much that it kind of gives you a headache if you're going really fast on the throttle. The brakes on this is not that well either. It's going to be the least in class, and that's something that you kind of want it to be the best in class in the sense of an EV car. I do like how when you turn the signals on, you can see it in the gauge cluster. The disadvantage is you really have to put that steering wheel higher up in order to see the gauge cluster, because it sits downwards a little bit, and then look at where my hands are so I can actually see it. You do have your lane keep assist and your blind spot monitoring, so you're taking care of there. 0 to 60s, 4.4 seconds. I mean, that is super quick. The Volvo XC40 Recharge gets about the same speed. The interior in this, it's gonna sit a little bit lower. That one sits a little bit higher. Curb weight on this is the least, comparing it to all of the rivals, even if you go up to higher luxury. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this EV6. The 3 things that I like is when you get into the GT line, you get the aesthetics on the exterior and the interior, plus you get extra horsepower and torque, which gives you a quicker speed. You're about a second-ish quicker 0 to 60. Quarter mile is about 0.5 to almost a second quicker as well. So you do get a lot more out of it. We're going to check the turn radius as soon as this person goes. Turn radius at more or less a stop point is going to receive about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Now that's full power on Eco. Now if I put it into Sport, we're going to slow down significantly here because there are probably going to be some cars coming. And I'm going to show you the difference. The same thing, full power. It kind of takes away your air a bit. It's not as hard as like a Tesla Model S Plaid, obviously. That thing has crazy power and it will just make you sick to your stomach, and you almost get scared of how much performance is underneath it. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is the exterior. It's just very futuristic in the sense of the front and the rear. I'm not so keen on the spaceship look, and I don't like that they're adding it, because why would I want this screen and the exterior components on that vehicle and it's half the price point? The last thing that I like about it is how much functionality is inside. The door pockets are going to be smaller than most of the rivals, but they make everything so open that you have even more space in the center here than you would in any of the rivals, and it feels like it's just open. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: it's the least curb weight in its class compared to anybody, and it's not the fastest in its class. The charging, it's super quick, but you have to go up to 400 and 800 volts. I don't know if you know what that is, but there's really not a lot of them around that go to that level. The good thing is it helps for the battery in the sense of if you do drive harder and you're trying to charge it a lot more frequently, it's going to get a little bit more in the intervals than a different battery because it can hold up to more power. It's just, I mean, put it at a lower charging so that way you can really utilize those quick charging times. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is more of a preference for me. You have a touchpad here, which again, you're gonna receive that in almost all of the new Kias coming down the road. But on the driver's side, it's all buttons. And they did such a good job cleaning everything up. I kind of wish they would have integrated everything here so that way I don't have to look at what I'm pushing. It would be right here. It's more seamless. Gonna give her a go. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the frunk is really just for some books that you get from the library. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's not a lot of libraries anymore in the United States. So everything's going digital. So I guess we don't even need a frunk if you look at it in that perspective. But I mean, with all due respect, when you're looking for an EV car and you're getting the least amount of cargo in the interior, comparing it to the majority of the rivals, you really want to optimize something, and the frunk would have been the best thing to do so. As for the drive, I'm taller at 6'3", so my head is almost on the headliner when I drive. I can't even lower the seat more. So it is a bit of a higher sit for me in the sense of like when I'm looking at this red light, if I close one eye, I can't see the second red light. That's how higher up I am in the seat. When you sit in the back, you sit a little bit lower, even though it sits a little higher, so it's a little bit of a weird sit. The drive for dynamics is good, so you can move in and out, and it's not that long of a vehicle. The ID4 is really slow. It's one of the slowest comparison. Comparing it to the Mustang Mach-E, this one does have the performance to back it, and the price point is good because that one does start escalating to near $70,000. So your savings is here. Obviously, the Tesla Model Y will be the most performance and the most range. However, it's a very oval interior. This one at least doesn't feel like I'm in a spaceship when I'm sitting here in the driver's seat. Comparing this to the new Audi Q4, the performance again was a little disappointing in it. The interior space is a little bit more, and it's also a little bit more functional for the driver if you're tall. If you're shorter, you're going to like this, but look, I can't even see the red light right now. I have to do like this in order to see it. So that's what I mean by the way you sit inside here. All of the competition, I'm at least able to see. So for me, it's hard to say I love this vehicle or I would purchase it because I'm tall. And I don't want to do like this all the time because I'm straining my neck. God forbid someone hits you, you're going to go like this, you're going to get whiplash. I'd like to thank Regal Kia for giving us this 2022 Kia EV6 GT line all-wheel drive for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, what are you waiting for? Click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the merchandise details website and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.